Stormy weather continues this week across the state of Texas, though we are beginning to transition into more of a heavy rain setup versus one featuring widespread severe storms. That doesn't mean we're done with either. Let's talk about it in this Monday edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. Hi there, it's Monday, the 9th of June, 2025. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer. We are expecting another active afternoon and evening as a little piece of fluff flies in front of me across parts of the state of Texas, though far less active than what we have dealt with the last few days, and especially yesterday into early this morning, with widespread damaging winds of 70 to 100 miles an hour, a couple tornadoes, wind-driven hail, and a lot of wind damage to clean up across several regions of the state of Texas. We're going to start with the severe weather outlooks. Going into this afternoon, evening, this is the brand new outlook. I actually waited a little while to record this video so we could get this updated outlook because I had a feeling there were going to be some changes, and there were. We have a level 2 out of 5 risk for scattered severe thunderstorms in two separate areas of Texas, the first of which is going to be in southeast Texas in proximity of a boundary left over from thunderstorms generated last night and early this morning. That boundary and the associated risk for maybe a couple of severe storms this afternoon, early this evening, is sitting right over the Houston metro, into the Golden Triangle, Houston up to Jasper, over to Beaumont, east on Interstate 10. The possibility of a few severe storms producing maybe some large hail, localized damaging wind gust, and we can't rule out a tornado. There is some enhanced low-level wind shear down there. It's a low possibility to very low possibility, but one we'll keep an eye out for just in case it happens. Otherwise, our focus will shift back west into West Texas, eastern New Mexico, and the Permian Basin, Concho Valley, going into this evening. We're going to have a couple different rounds of storms out here, the first of which is going to fire up this afternoon in eastern New Mexico, where we're going to see a cluster of strong to severe storms organize near Interstate 40 and move southeast across eastern New Mexico early this evening towards the Texas state line. By early to mid-evening, those storms, by the time they get into Texas, will probably be in the form of a cluster or a line that'll be moving east-southeast with the potential of damaging straight-line winds, large hail, heavy rain, and lightning. Ahead of that, it looks like we could see a few supercells fire up in the Permian Basin, Odessa, Midland, Sweetwater. We're going to be keeping an eye out on you this evening. The potential for those isolated supercell thunderstorms to produce the biggest hail of the day, and we could see hailstones at least the size of tennis balls, though to be perfectly honest, it's possible they may be even bigger than that. It's June after all, but we'll say tennis balls with the caveat that if there's a softball, it is not my fault. Localized damaging wind gust as well. The tornado threat looks very, very low with that activity this evening. Not completely zero, but certainly much lower than the last several days. But the hail, the wind issues, yeah, we're probably going to have issues with that. So heads up Midland, Odessa, out towards Andrews, Seminole. We're going to be keeping a close eye on y'all this evening for the threat of some more wind-driven hail. And we'll look at the timing of that in just a moment. Let's take a look at the severe weather outlook for tomorrow. You can see the risk overall is lower. The possibility of isolated severe thunderstorms really across the southern half of Texas, everywhere from the Permian Basin, the Concho Valley, the Hill Country, central Texas, east into the Brazos Valley, the Golden Triangle, southeast Texas, back west through the coastal plains, south central Texas, the Edwards Plateau, into the, Rio Grande Plains. That's for afternoon, early evening storms, some of which could produce hail and gusty winds. And, well, frankly, we may see a complex of storms move from west to east tomorrow night across these regions. And if that happens, the severe threat may be a bit higher with pocket change size hail and damaging straight line winds. A smaller corridor, for now at least, of evident severe weather potential from the Guadalupe Mountains through the Trans-Pecos, southeast across the Davis Mountains into the Big Bend. We could see a few slow-moving supercell thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, early tomorrow evening, with the potential of hail up to the size of tennis balls and localized damaging straight-line winds. A brief tornado can't be ruled out. But again, depending on solutions and the eventual outcome, we may see some of this area upgraded in subsequent outlooks as confidence increases on if we're going to be dealing with an eastward moving cluster of stronger storms tomorrow night. Finally, here's the severe weather outlook for Wednesday, the 11th of June. The potential for isolated severe storms continuing from the Big Bend in the Permian Basin east through the Concho Valley, the Edwards Plateau, the Rio Grande Plains, the Rio Grande Valley, up into the coastal bend, South Texas, South Central Texas, the coastal plains, Hill Country, Central Texas, and the Brazos Valley. That would mainly be for the potential of afternoon and evening pop-up thunderstorms with pocket change size hail and localized microburst winds over 50 to 60 miles per hour. And again, each day's chances for storms and any associated rowdier storms and heavy rain really will depend on what happens the day or night before. As you're about to see, we got plenty of rain chances to deal with in Texas this week. Here's the high-res rapid refresh model for this afternoon, tonight into Tuesday, and guess what? You can see this model is picking up a pretty gnarly cluster of storms moving across West Texas, the Permian Basin, into parts of the Concho Valley tonight into early Tuesday morning. The most intense of those storms damaging straight-line winds over 60 to 70 miles per hour, with those individualistic storms around Midland, Odessa, through the early mid-evening hours. We may see some really big hail. I'll be honest, there could be some, tennis ball size hail with that, maybe larger, before we transition to more of a pocket change size hail, damaging wind and flooding threat. That activity could continue well into the night in a weaker state, moving east towards the Concho Valley. Tomorrow into Tuesday night, Wednesday, you can see storms fire up in the Trans-Pecos, the Big Bend. Those tend to, if this model is correct at least, move off to the east, southeast, like storms tonight, moving across I-35 from North Texas, Central Texas. Those move east, pop-up storms tomorrow afternoon, another cluster of storms evolving tomorrow night, Big Bend, Trans-Pecos, those could move east across, the southern two-thirds of Texas. So while the overall severe weather threat's lower comparatively to the last several days, that doesn't mean we're done with storms. In fact, more of us will probably see rain and storms, probably multiple waves of them, over the next several days across Texas as we deal with a pretty precipitous pattern, but one that is more reminiscent of early summer versus, springtime, spaghetti-o, we're getting delayed showed every night sort of pattern, which is, good. We don't want to get delayed showed every night, but we'll keep an eye on it. And again, it's going to be stormy, and there'll probably be some rowdier storms in all of that. But heavy rain and flooding, it's probably going to be an issue on a more widespread scale. Wildfire outlook the next several days from the Texas A&M Forest Service. You can see today, high to very high fire danger in the borderland, far west Texas, the Big Bend, the Guadalupe Mountains, the Davis Mountains, and then the Trans-Pecos. For Tuesday and Wednesday, generally low to moderate fire danger across the state of Texas. Here's the longer range American weather model, the global forecast system. Guess what? It's going to rain, it's going to storm, and unfortunately, I doubt I'm going to be snoring. But again, this is more reminiscent of a summer-like pattern with comparatively lower chances of widespread severe storms in terms of hail, wind, tornadoes, more in the heavy rain, flooding department. So as you can see, we are going to remain relatively active through the week, though we may start calming down finally towards Thursday and Friday in some areas with precipitation chances lowering. But the next several days, it's going to rain. And then towards the weekend, you know what? If this is right, hey, you know what? It'd be nice. At least most of us would be calming down in terms of weekend weather, even though once the rain shuts off, we all know what's after that, and that's summer. And based on all the recent rains, we're going to have to work off a crazy oppressive amount of humidity. And that'll take weeks to occur after the rain stops. But here's forecast rain totals through Friday night, the 13th of June. You can see, now these are regionalized, broad stroke. Don't nitpick at them and assume everyone here is going to get the exact same amount of rain. But the heaviest rain potential, which could be, 3 to 6 inches of rain. The Big Country, the Concho Valley, the Hill Country, North Texas, Texoma. And yes, there probably will be flooding in here at points. Still looking at maybe 2 to 4 inches of rain. Parts of the Panhandle, especially south of Interstate 40, West Texas, the Permian Basin, southeast through the Concho Valley, the Edwards Plateau, into South Texas, the Brazos Valley, southeast Texas, the Golden Triangle, back up to northeast and east Texas. So overall, decent amounts of rain possible over the next several days with multiple rounds of storms. And given the fact it's June, it's June. Apparently, I didn't like that. Given the fact it's June, Well, we have a lot of tropical moisture in place. If you end up under one of these heavier storms, you could get, 2 to 3 inches of rain in 45 minutes. So, yeah, someone's getting a lot of rain this week, and unfortunately, some of you may not get any. The borderland, you're not looking at too much rain west of the Trans-Pecos. Northern Texas Panhandle, you're looking comparatively drier, though still some showers. And then down in the Rio Grande Valley, y'all may also be on the lower end of the rain spectrum, generally remaining under 1/2 inch of rain through Friday night. Tropical weather-wise, we are not dealing with any sorts of tropical mischief in the Gulf, Caribbean, or the Atlantic tropical basin. The Pacific, Eastern Pacific's pretty busy right now, but that is not in our purview or issue department at the moment. And here's the longer range precipitation outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. You can see the eastern half of Texas into the eastern United States may have continuing above average precipitation chances heading into the 14th through 18th of June. Western third of Texas about average chances, so could be below, could be above. And then we're looking fairly dry out in California, Nevada, Arizona, and Utah. Their wildfire season is about to kick off with a vengeance after a wet early spring, late winter. All that's drying out. Now they're going to have above average fuel loads and a pretty busy fire season, it looks like, as they also enter summer and those really hot temperatures. For us here, though, let's learn to press the right buttons. For us here, we have rain this week. Storms, and we're going to be keeping an eye on all of them. As always, we'll do our best to keep you updated. We had a lot of folks tuning in yesterday, last night, and we're thankful for that. Hope you all remain safe. And we'll be doing the same throughout this week. Even if chances for severe weather look more isolated, localized, if we got mischief, we'll be here to let you know. You can always get your local weather forecast, interactive weather radar, Texas Storm Chasers, weather roundups. I can't talk. I talked too much yesterday. The spiel I typically go through. Yeah, I can't even get through it today. But all that, free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. Just search for Texas Storm Chasers where you download apps to your device. Interactive weather radar on our website, texasstormchasers.com/radar. And yes, you can also just tune into this YouTube channel for all of that and more. And we appreciate how many of you did join us over the weekend into last week. We did hit 100,000 subscribers yesterday in the midst of our live severe weather coverage, so thank you very much. That's a big honor and a big milestone for this YouTube channel, and we thank you very much for it. And with that, y'all, that's it. Adios, au revoir, au revoir. I'm going to go catch up on chores just in case we have to do severe weather coverage for the Permian Basin hailers or a rogue southeast Texas storm later today and this evening. Y'all have a great Monday. As always, God bless.